Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rāmāyana Yoga Wednesdays. We're going to begin in a seated position today, so just find your comfortable seat, whatever that is. I think I'm going to actually go with 2 blocks stacked between my ankles. But if you prefer a cross-legged seat, please do. It also sometimes for me, where I begin, what seat is most comfortable comes down to, like today I slept funny, so I have like a little like thing in my neck. So it feels good to have a symmetrical posture rather than be like in a cross-legged position, which is just a little bit asymmetrical. So I can feel my hips sink down. Regardless of your position, just let your hips begin to settle, feeling the bottom of the body get heavy like a mountain, a rock. Taking on like a deeper gravity, a closer attraction to the earth below. Your hands can rest on your thighs, anywhere that's comfortable. Palms can be face up or face down. You might roll the shoulders up to the ears and then roll them back a few times. And then eventually let the shoulders drop and settle. Just take a moment to feel the breath rise, your next inhale from the ground up to your chest, just really creating space and structure within the whole body, the whole torso. And feeling like the legs that are heavy and the shoulders that are heavy as this frame, the corners of the frame. The breath can fill. Maybe you're noticing the sound of your breath a little bit more now. Now that there's a little more space for the breath to roam freely. And then feel the breath lifting up through the back of the neck. So it's nice and easy, breezy, lengthening the back of the neck, the crown of the head lifts. The chin might tuck in a little bit. You kind of feel the tips of your ears lifting up like the points of a flame. Now feel the breath filling that whole space of the body. Maybe envisioning the breath as a light. As you inhale, the light spreads throughout. The fire glowing brighter, and as you exhale, it's like the glow radiating outwards. Just think of the breath as this source of illumination. Moving on into book 2 of the Rāmāyana, the Ayodhya Kanda, which is after the first book, which is sort of a coming of age tale of Prince Rama, all of his origin stories, his first trials, all the way up through his marriage, we see in the first book. And then in the second book, we turn to back to the city. He's returned to life as a man. His his everyday life as a prince in the city of Ayodhya. And at the beginning of the book, his father is deciding to anoint him or to consecrate him as his prince regent. The father is old and ready to retire, ready for his son to ascend the throne. And there's so much in the book of Rama as being this radiant being, illuminating the world around him, his righteousness, and a lot of times he's actually described as being like his presence like brightens the throne that he sits on. So just trying to really feel that in this point in our practice. The breath is this flame that illuminates us and sends like this radiation of ourselves out into the world. Join the breaths together now, emptying the breath completely, hold out at the bottom. And then let's inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold it at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4. Hold in 4. Exhale 4. Hold out 4. Keep that pattern going. Notice how we're just creating another level of structure. So we use the breath to create structure in the body first, and now we're structuring the breath to just bring a little different tonality of our awareness. Use the count in your mind as a way to harness the attention in one place. Continuing to rotate in cycles of 4. One more full cycle. When you empty the breath, pull the breath out. Let the fingers come wide, like stretching the fingers down towards the ground, energizing the arms. And then inhale, sweep the arms up. Hands meet at the top of the breath. Exhale, pull the hands down through heart center. Again, inhale, sweep the arms up. Hands meet, exhale, hands to heart center. Again, hands up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again. And last time, inhaling up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. On your next inhale, without moving, feel the sphere of energy around your body. The path traced by the hands. Exhale, feel that light within from the heart center glowing forth. Let's shift onto hands and knees. Just blink the eyes open. Take it really slow. moving any props to the side. Let's have our blocks towards the top of the mat. And feeling like I want a little cushioning underneath my knees. The ground you're on is hard, or you just feel like it. Feels great. Practicing at the end of the day. Maybe it's been a long day. And just settle into your tabletop position. The hands are spread wide. You can feel like there's a suction cup lifting the center of the palms up away from the mat, but every other part of the hand is touching the earth. And your palms might actually touch the ground, but it's just like imagining that point lifting while keeping your knuckles down, your finger pads down. And notice if you're like over efforting here. A lot of times I have the tendency to just really like do a little bit too much, and let your hands relax a little bit perhaps, if that feels applicable to you. And then plug down through the tops of the feet, like actively spread the tops of your toes down towards the earth and feel that press down against the mat, like feel the effort. And you can even feel that the core is going to turn on. And then just maintain awareness, but you can relax the effort a little bit, like back off maybe 20%. And from here, inhale, open the heart forward for cow pose. Exhale, rounding the spine for cat. Move through it really slowly. Let the breath slow down, open up. Exhale, round in. Maybe you start to notice like little asymmetries in the body. Again, I slept funny and my neck is a little twingy, so I'm just really getting a lot of satisfaction out of exploring the space really slowly. Being gentle as I rebalance. Letting yourself fall into the rhythm. You've probably noticed that we're repeating things. Part of our practice, counting is part of the practice today. And I think that what's calling me to that is this idea of Rāma. He just is this effulgent being, and everyone around him kind of recognizes that he exists in this space that is unaffected by like the trivial emotional nonsense that most people spend a lot of time in. He spends a lot of time practicing his archery, practicing his studying of scriptures, practicing. There's all these daily rituals. So I think that maybe part of his success at being so righteous might be from his willingness to participate in the cycle as it repeats. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, open the heart forward. Exhale, round the spine one last time. And then push the hips back to the heels for a child's pose. You can let your knees come wide if you like, or keep them closer. It's up to you. Going wide. And I'm letting my forearms come down to the mat and then letting my forehead come down to the mat. I like to start with a structure here so I can really feel where the edge of relaxation is. Sometimes we try to go too far. Sometimes people are really flexible and they just like kind of easily go far. So providing yourself like a very structured beginning allows you to kind of adjust more intelligently. So once I kind of feel where the breath can flow freely, that's where my elbows will settle. And think a block under my forehead is going to be nice. Notice if the cycle of breath has gotten disturbed by the transition. And just keep allowing yourself time to adjust to the posture. Trying to find stillness and first in the physical sense of just allowing yourself to pause and breathe without hurrying, without thinking ahead, without trying to make an adjustment. Just pick somewhere and be there. Allowing yourself to come to know kind of exactly what you're dealing with before you make a move. And then if you really feel like you need to adjust, and you very well might as you sink deeper into the posture, you can start to, walk the elbows out, adjust your hips, shift from side to side, whatever it is that allows the breath to flow more freely through the whole body, and for you to feel a little bit more balanced through the whole body. Bring back to that breath. Empty completely. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, and pause for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold out 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in 4. Hold in 4. Exhale 4. Hold out 4. Inhale 4. Last time. Hold 4. Exhale 4. Hold out 4. Inhale. Exhale out the mouth. If you have like a block on your head, just move anything in front of you out to the side, and let's shift forward and find our bellies. I'm gonna take a minute and spread my blanket out even more. It's really a practice of patience, I think, today, and these nice long holds. It's like the same quality that Rāma seems to possess as he moves through the world. He's very patient and understanding. I'm also going to have a bolster, so when I come down, this is like totally optional, but we're coming into a Sphinx pose, so we're going to be resting on our forearms, and the bolster just might feel really nice as a lift to the ribs, just sort of a emphasis of the front body expansion that we get when we're in Sphinx pose. And your legs are going to stretch out long behind you. And again, that's fine. Once you're here, become aware of the connection with the earth through the palms, just like we did in tabletop. So the palms and the tops of the feet And also like the elbows, like all these parts of the arms and the legs and the hips, these points of contact that can spread down to the earth actively, like make it active. Take a breath into that space to fill it out and figure out like where the space is in the form. And then you can just relax like 20, I'm going to say 40% here. So you can really let gravity take control. While just maintaining that little effort to hold space in the body. And drop your chin down to your chest. Inhale, roll right ear to right shoulder. You can hold here for a few breaths. Maybe experiment with like different angles of the chin to figure out like where you can target your stretch to bring you some release. It's also kind of nice to do like little micro rolls, just tilting the chin up and down till you get that stretch, kind of moving across the whole side of the neck. That's trapezius. And then let your head come back to center. Inhale, lift the nose up, extending through the front of the throat. And exhale, drop the head down just to recenter. And then your next inhale, you're taking the left ear towards the left shoulder. And taking a few breaths here. Shoulders relax down the back. Legs are still active against the earth. Hands are still active against the earth, lightly connected. Let your chin roll back down through center. Inhale, lift the nose to the sky. Exhale, chin rolls down. Inhale, lifting the nose up and just finding this point where you get that antenna into the crown of the skull, the tips of the ears, lifting like points of flame. Muscles of the back can relax. Just a few breaths here, and notice that your gaze is probably still down towards the earth or just straight out in front of you, depending on your openness through the front of the body. And that's fine. It's about the sensation of that antenna, the flame points. Another breath here. Inhaling. And exhale, make a pillow with your hands, let the forehead come down. Just taking a few breaths here. If I think the pillow feels really nice underneath my diaphragm here, but if you don't agree, move it out of the way. Feeling the breath expand against the earth. Feeling the pulse of the belly. Noticing the sound of the breath. Steady, oceanic, affirming. And as you're ready, just slowly make your way up to a seated position. I'm sitting back on my heels. We're just gonna use this as like a position to set up from. The neighbors are coming home. So from our seated position, just getting the breath collected. Setting your bolster a little bit further forward. Still gonna cross across the top of the mat. I wanna do a little time in pigeon pose today. So I'll show you what that is, and then you can decide if it's right for you and just kind of see where it is before you start to do it if you're not familiar with pigeon. Beginning from a downward facing dog, so just tucking the toes and lifting the hips, and let's just spend a breath or two here to feel the length of the spine, but I'll move forward into pigeon. You'll take the right leg, lift it up, and then you bend the knee in towards your chest. You're going to set your right knee down outside of your right wrist, just kind of crossing across the mat, and the foot can tuck in towards the hips. My bolster is supporting my hips. And it just is a nice way for me to still get that feeling of rooting down into the earth. If you need more padding or you're not feeling it, you can adjust as you need to. But beginning with the fingertips on the ground, maybe having blocks to help you lift up through the chest. And your back leg stretches back, and the tops of the toes spread down, and you can feel like there's a little engagement there, wrapping that left hip forward. And we'll just pause here and breathe. So you can join me whenever you're ready. If you're not here already, just kind of make your way there. Downward dog, right leg forward, shin crosses across the mat, setting the hips down, supporting your hands, or using your hands to support you, rolling the chest up towards the sky. Empty the breath completely. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold in, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold out, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more rounds. Inhale, 4. Hold, 4. X, 4. Hold out, 4. Last time on your own count. Inhale fully. And then exhale, lengthen forward. You can come down to your forearms. You can use a block under the forehead here. Really letting yourself settle in here. Again, I like to have my elbows just more or less underneath my shoulders here, and then use that structure to soften and see where I need to go. Nice to have the forehead supported, just to have another surface to spread down. If you're feeling anything in your knee, like a pain of any kind, you might want to ease off a little bit, coming up out of the fold, or coming onto your back and doing a figure 4 instead. You should really mostly be feeling this stretch through the outside of the hip. And also a nice release, I think, through the whole body, the back of the body relaxing, the front of the body softening too.
Nice neutralizing of the back of the neck. Few more breaths.
And then from here, we're just transitioning to the second side. I like to just come back to tabletop personally and start the whole thing over again. I find tabletop to be such a nice centralizing posture where you can really find the earth, connected to your breath, connected to your body. And then tuck your toes, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog, being patient, no rush. And then eventually your left leg comes forward. You're finding your pigeon on the second side. So when King Dasaratha, Rama's father, decides to make his son the Prince Regent, to consecrate his son, there's like all these layers to it that need to happen. Just relax and listen or tune me out, depending on your mood. There's all these layers of the coronation and that need to happen. So first he tells his priests that he wants to do this, and the priests who are able to see into the future, they give it an auspicious signal, letting it go forward. So he calls all of the kings and all of the world around him that could feasibly be considered part of his kingdom. And he tells them of his intention to crown his son Prince Regent. And they say, okay, they celebrate it. They love Rama. They talk about how great Rama is. And then everyone says, great. And then he sends a charioteer to bring Rama into this assembly of all the kings. Then there's that celebration. Rama comes and he's this glowing boy ready to take the throne. And then there's all these other layers where all these panegyrists and poets and bards come into the town and begin singing Rama's praises all over town. And on and on and on. It's like excitement and this sort of forecasting of Rama's future kingship is just broadcast all over the world that he lives in. And yet through that whole ordeal, ritual process, Rama remains very calm, very methodical. He does exactly what is next, the next breath. He responds to the call. He doesn't waver. He doesn't get flustered. He doesn't really express any emotion. There's a real discipline to just doing that. Breathing in, breathing out, dealing with the moment at hand.
This whole story of the Ramayana is based on the presumption that Rama is the most righteous man, an example of a truly righteous man. So I think it's worthwhile investigating what are the qualities that define righteousness, and maybe part of it is this quality of presence and being in the moment and doing what the moment presents. Moving in, moving out.
As he waits for his coronation, there's a lot of waiting in excited categories. So we're just practicing being still and being metered. If you are ready to come out of that side of the posture, just gradually make your way out. We're coming back to a seated position. And this time, let's take a cross-legged seated position with the right leg in front. I'm sitting up on the bolster, mostly because it was already here, but it also just happened to feel like the right thing for the moment at hand. Feel nice and supported and steady in my seat. Returning again to that box breath, it's Samavritti, so 4 in, hold 4, exhale 4, hold out 4. Empty the breath completely. I'll just count 1 round for this time, and I'll let you go on your own. Hold out at the bottom. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold in 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold out 4, 3, 2, 1. Move it on your own. Feeling the body start to relax around the structure of the breath. One last round. When you finish that round, you can just allow the breath to return to its normal rhythm. Inhaling through both nostrils. Exhaling through both nostrils. Let the knees relax. Notice if you've been tensing up in the hips, the legs, let them get heavy. Inhale Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, twist to your right. Catching the right knee with the left hand. Roll the shoulders down the back. Keep the spine nice and long. Maybe turn your chin towards your right shoulder. And again, you can experiment with the angle there. It's feeling nice for my chin to be rather low this evening. Rolling that left shoulder back. Bring your head forward first, and then release the twist back through center. Take an inhale and center. And exhale. Inhale, the arms sweep up. Exhale, twisting to the opposite side. So right hand catches left knee, left fingers behind you. Relax through the legs and the hips, let them be heavy. Let the spine grow tall. And maybe turn your gaze back. Just be very conscious that every little movement and how it becomes, it builds itself into this future form. Rāma is very careful, very precise, very focused. Very attentive. Let the head come forward first, the gaze, and then let yourself release. Switch the crossing of the legs. And just sit and breathe. If you like, you can return to the box breath. A very patient practice. Feeling the body sort of settle, noticing all the little differences that occur when we sit, different adjustments. Right leg in front, left leg in front. There's so much that we do, these motions we take throughout the day that we do without consideration at all that create, it's like habitual imbalances in our body. Not that those are like bad inherently, but it's nice to bring some space and unfurling and equality into the mix. Allowing time to establish some equilibrium. The legs relax, the hips relax, shoulders heavy. Fire burning, the breath. Always fanning that flame. So doing the box breath, let the breath come back to a normal flow as you finish your cycle, whatever it makes sense. Now sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, turn to the left first, right hand to left knee. We're just repeating the same thing so you know where you're going. You can establish it for yourself and just be still. Be in attention. Hips are heavy. Let the gaze come forward first, and then release the twist, coming back to center, inhaling, exhaling. Another deep breath. One more, just really feel the quality spreading through both sides of the body. Right and left lung fill at the same time. And exhale. Inhale, the arms lift. Exhale, twisting to the right, left hand, right knee, right hand behind you. Spine lifts tall. Steady your gaze. Drop in. Let your gaze come forward first and then let your body follow. Shift off of a bolster if you were sitting up on it. If your blanket's on your mat, that's fine. Just don't want coming down into Shavasana, so we just don't want to have anything in the way, but we're gonna not go to Shavasana right immediately yet. Just one more moment of patience. In Navasana, boat pose, planting the soles of the feet down. Feeling the thighs turn on, lifting the heart. Hands behind the thighs. Feel the core engage. Maybe you reach your arms forward. Just offering the heart forward. One more inhale. And then exhale, you can roll yourself down one vertebra at a time to the earth. Be very patient. Try to be very even keeled. And then you can just relax. The knees can hug in if that calls to you. The knees can knock together. They come straight into Shavasana if that's what the trick is for you. We're going to get there eventually. I want to allow us 3 minutes here. So a good time to relax. So just bring yourself down to the earth as you're ready.
Now that I'm landing in Shavasana, I am reminded of this scene from the very beginning of the reading that we are doing now. So the Ayodhya Kanda, book 2 of the Rāmāyana. And it's the night before Rama is supposed to be consecrated. He and his beloved wife Sita have to go to bed. They're observed on all sides. It's a whole ritual of them going to bed. Resting. Meeting the next moment as it comes. No rush, no hesitation. Feels relaxed. Hips relax. Shoulders relax. Head relaxes. Face relax. Throat relax. Heart relax. Belly relax. Muscles of the legs relax. Whole body relax.
If you're joining on YouTube, I'll leave you here. Namaste.